This is the reason that Al-Shabaab has continued existing here in Kenya and also in Somalia. Now, US sanctions 16 Al-Shabaab fundraisers, money launderers, saying that Kenya-based ground-based services has laundered Al-Shabaab funds and backed their logistical operations. This is after a the investigation which was done by the US to find the funders of Al-Shabaab, which is going on here in Kenya because we have experienced a lot of attacks of Al-Shabaab, and US is helping these two countries, Kenya and Somalia, to find the funders of the Al-Shabaab. Now, the U.S. Department of the Treasury on Monday imposed sanctions on what it said was an international fundraising and money laundering network for the Al-Shabaab militant group operating in Somalia. The sanctions targeted 16 entities and individuals across the Horn of Africa region, the United Arab Emirates and Cyprus, the Treasury said in statement. The action, which follows US sanctions against a separate network linked to Al-Shabaab in October 2022, frees any US assets of those targeted and generally bars Americans from dealing with them. This has been happening here in Kenya. We have seen many attackers happening here in Kenya. We have seen teachers be killed. We have seen many people be killed because of the funding which is being funded by these buses which are operating or helping in transitions and also transportation of these Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab is linked to Al-Qaeda, and it has been waging an insurgency against the Somali government since 2006 in a bid to establish its own rule based on a strict interpretation of Islamic Sharia law. The threat the threat posed by Al-Shabaab is not limited to Somalia, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said in a statement. He also said that Al-Shabaab's revenues are dispersed to other Al-Qaeda-linked groups worldwide and help fund Al-Qaeda global ambitions to commit acts of terrorism and undermine good governance of the countries where they are operating. According to the news that we are getting here on this desk, it is said that Al Shabaab, which is in a Washington, considers a terrorist group, generates over $100 millions a year, including extorting local businesses. And because of this funding, it has targeted most of the countries, especially here in Kenya and Somalia. We have seen that here in Kenya. We have seen many people be killed by this Al Shabaab because of these fundings, which are going to Al Shabaab, and they are helping them to ensure that they do the operations without failure, without even having any problems because of these funds, which are said they are $100 million. So, according to the news that we are getting from East African, we are getting that the authorities they target bickering Al-Shabaab with the more sanctions. That is what they are talking about, and they are saying the 10 million apiece bound poster of the most wanted Al-Shabaab leaders Khalid Mustafa and Dilie at the U.S. Embassy in Kenya, in Nairobi, Kenya, on 2022. That was the photo which was posted by Kenya, by the US Embassy, why it was sanctioning and finding out why Al Shabaab is continuing existing here in Kenya and also Somalia, and people here they are suffering because of this existence of Al Shabaab. Now, they say that Somalia and partners say leadership wrangles within the militant group offer an opportunity to inherit the extremist, but it may take more than just targeting his leadership. This week, the US government offered up to $5 million to anyone with information that could aid the arrest of Abukar Hili Handan, a leader in Somali militant group Al-Shabaab. U.S. Department of State the rewards for Justice Brunkwam on Wednesday said Handam, a former military chief of the Shabab, who is wanted for his atrocities. Handam said to deputy leader of Al-Shabaab spent several years as the group's militant chief after previously heading the Jabhat extremist group's armed wing. Last year, the US had increased the reward for information leading to two of Shabaab's top leaders, Ahmed Dirie and Mahad Karate, to $10 million each. So this is a sanction which has been going on to ensure that Kenya and Somalia they are safe from Al-Shabaab. So these are news that we are getting here, and we need you to be informed that already the buses which operate from Nairobi to those areas they have um, they have been sanctions because of information that they have been supporting Al-Shabaab. That is what is going on right now, and we as Kenyans we need this one to take place very quickly because we have seen many people suffering, especially those who are living in Garissa and some other areas which are close to Somali, and we need their lives to change, and even students to go to school, not to keep them are not getting education because of lack of security in those areas because of these terrorist Al-Shabaab, and we are glad because of US coming in to ensure that they support Kenya and Somalia to fight against Al-Shabaab. This is Stephen, GC News.